Good Saturday morning, everybody. I just wanted to come live today before you that there's going to be some changes that I'm going to be taking place. Is my family selling this house? One reason is because of my medical issues. I no longer really can take care of a house this size, and so it's time for me to move on. I'm looking for something that is reasonable, and I'm talking because I'm on SSI, but it's set up for people with medical. I use a wheelchair at times, but I also have a walker that I can get around a lot of times, and I have quite a bit of stuff moving on to move, which I'll probably end up selling some of the stuff to get some money before I do take place. Um, but I'm very thankful that my sister was able to take care of this house for me since my release from prison. I've been out 11 years now. And, I made friends, I made enemies, but I hope I made more friends over the years than I have made enemies. But I would like to stay in the Franklin County area if anybody has any suggestions or ideas. I don't really want it to be in a bad section of town. Presently, I live on the south side of Columbus off of East Whittier, and not far from Parsons, and definitely not far from downtown Columbus. But I would like to move out of the south side because it'd be hard for me to see this house knowing that I spent so many good years here. You know, um, so I'm thankful. I may not seem it all the time, but I am. Sometimes we have to make changes in our life, even if we don't want to make those changes. And this was a change I did not want to make. I wanted to stay here till the day I die, but it's just not going to happen. So I need to make plans, for the future, for whatever the future may hold. I do believe God's got plans for each and every one of us. Um, I may not always agree with the plans, but if it's His plans, who are we to argue with Him? You know, I've said so many times before. I've always asked for forgiveness for those that I hurt and for the things that I do now. Sometimes it takes some of us long and longer to keep repeating it before we actually stop for whatever we're doing wrong. I was not, you know, always honest with my family about my health because I wanted to stay here, and you know, my neurologist said that my time was coming for possibly assisted living, and I'm hoping that doesn't come, but it looks like it may. So, but there's so many other good people too. Lindsay and Kevin will be looking for a place, and I value their friendship. So if you have any suggestions for them, please inbox Lindsay or Kevin on Facebook and let them know you've seen this video and that you know this place or that place. Now I'm willing to relocate in Ohio, but I prefer to stay in Columbus. I made this my home. I'm from Cleveland originally, but Cleveland's got some pretty bad memories. The way the news media will attack you when coming out of prison. It's like they don't want to see people succeed, but they love to see them fall. But getting to my health, some of you may know the ones that's known me long enough. In 2015, I had a heart attack, and 2 weeks later, I had open heart surgery. Then, after 9 days in the hospital, I come home. A month later, I had a pretty bad heart attack. All the grafts closed up, and then I had a slight heart attack even after the major one. But in 2020, I don't remember any details to be honest. But my roommate at the time, Paul, called 911. I guess he thought I was having a stroke, so they rushed me to Grant. And you know, sometime while I was there, I must have called Paul to say, "Come pick me up." I was going home. But shortly after that, I started getting slurred speech according to the doctors. They took me back for a brain scan that they used contrast dye. I was allergic to the contrast dye, and it caused me to code twice and have 2 strokes. And only by the grace of God, that I even survived it. Sometimes I wonder why me, with a lot of the things I've done wrong in my life. But my mom always said God had plans for me, and I sometimes wished I knew what they were. I know one thing it is to minister, part of it is to minister to those incarcerated and also to get a book published that may be able to help others. Um, so I remember negotiating with God, promising everything that I was not going to do this, I was not going to do that. Now I didn't keep my promises on a lot of this stuff, and I need to work better. There's times that I cuss, I try not to. You know, um, you know, Sometimes I don't listen to my sister, which I should have. Because she's done a great job taking care of me since at my release. She's got compassion. Um, but there's times that you could be around people and you just feel lonely. You feel like nobody gets you, nobody understands, and sometimes I don't even understand myself. You know, I'm just winging this video, guys. I just want people to let people know that that my health is worse than what I let people know. But you don't see me complain about it on Facebook or inbox people about it. Now the people that I'm around, I might say I'm not feeling good, but I'm not going to sit there and want a pity party because that's just not me. So I hope people will continue to pray for myself, pray for the incarcerated, and all those that need prayer. Let's never give up on others. Now, the Bible says to forgive 70 times 7. That doesn't mean you're going to forget because you're not going to ever forget a crime or stuff that happens to you. For the most part, you won't. Um, I had to forgive a lot of people over the years, and I've asked a lot of people to forgive me as well. In the Lord's Prayer, it says you can't forgive others. How do you expect Christ to forgive you? Um, and 1 John 1:9 says, He is faithful and just to forgive us sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. That doesn't mean just one or two things. It means all. It says that He throws into the depths of the sea and remembers no more. Uh, and we're to be more like Christ, like for those that are believers or Christians. Um, so if we're to be more like Christ, that means we should follow His teachings. And fellowship with other believers, other Christians. So that's just something to think about. When I was first getting locked up, a pastor by the name of Pastor Larson's told me to memorize Romans 8:28. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. And from this day forward, I say that verse almost every day. That verse has stuck in my head, and of course, it took me 10, 15 years to memorize it, but I have, and I'm thankful for the good people and the good mentors I've had in my life. My friend Jerry, he's been like a mentor to me, and I consider my pastor. He was he used to attend Palm Heights Baptist Church, and when I was out in 2001, he was preaching a Sunday night. I believe must have been a Sunday morning, and he had this projector, with you know things that he put up there, and at the end it says, "If you'd ever like to talk, give him a call." So I gave him a call that day, and he was so kind to me that we became good friends. He also, you know, years later, he he took me out for um, to a movie at this movie theater, and I think it was in Berea. Boy, and that's when mega theaters just came out. I was used to the one or two theaters inside. This had maybe 12 theaters inside. So that was something new to me as well. But I've had a lot of good teachers, a lot of Sunday school teachers that I admired as growing up. I really admired my church at the time, which was Palmer Heights Baptist Church. Um, they reached out to so many people, um, and they are willing to go the extra mile to help. They will pray with others. That's the church, if you're in the Cleveland area, that you need to really to attend or visit at least, and talk to Pastor Shane down there. He's a young man that I first met him at my dad's funeral, and I don't remember if that was 2019 maybe, but I met him at the funeral. Then my other pastor, that was my pastor growing up, Pastor John Thielenhouse. That was a great time to see all these people that I haven't seen over the years, and that were very kind to me and welcoming me back. If I lived in that area, that would be the church that I would attend, most likely. Um, so to say all this, I want people to know that God can lead you and steer you in the right direction. So let's have an open mind, open heart. Let's do what's right, guys. And everybody that's listening, thank you so much. Also, if you'd like to send me an email, it is KronenbergerJD@gmail.com. So it's KronenbergerJD@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. Have yourself a great, great day.